And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Loot. Now, look, I was gonna come to you guys with a video regarding the new patch that we received this morning in NBA 2K22 My Team, but 2K has yet to reveal any sort of patch notes for it, so I don't know. Nobody really knows what it did exactly. Like, you know what I mean? I love 2K. Their ineptitude is hilarious sometimes. I feel like this is on purpose though. I feel like the reason they didn't reveal the patch notes this time is because they're saving it for this week, because I feel like a lot of the patch has to do with season 4 of 2K22 and not very many gameplay changes at all. But every time they introduce one of these patches, they do change something in gameplay, so I don't really know exactly what it is, but it remains to be seen. Now, the one thing we have figured out, and people have just figured it out in general, is that they removed set shot 4 completely from the game. So Set Shot 4 would have been the release that cards like Peja Stojakovic, Steve Kerr, Dave Bing, and Keith Van Horn had. Pretty terrible release. It was, greenable off the catch and shoot, but that's about it. And they kept putting it on point guards, which was unfortunate. So they just changed all Set Shot 4 players to Jump Shot 4, which is basically the Devin Booker release. So all the centers are basically George Mikan now. And then all the point guards are essentially, I forgot who the big base 4 point guard is, right? So let me look at Booker and see what the release is. Now, I personally don't like it on point guards, but it's okay. It's Gerald Wallace base too, like the same base Gerald Wallace has. I think it's really good. CJ McCollum would be the point guard. So basically every center is now the same as George Mikan, and every point guard is the same as CJ McCollum. Now, did this affect anyone notable? Dave Bing, Amethyst Dave Bing now becomes really, really solid. I guarantee this card is at least somewhat gone up in price. He's still in the 80s for some reason. I don't expect 2K to change this. Oh, no, he didn't. He's cheap. He's probably one of the best cheap point guards in the game now with this release, honestly. He already had a pretty solid badge count and was a relatively good point guard before. The only thing that really hurt him was that, set shot 4, which was just not conducive for a point guard. Now, if you're new to the game and you're just picking it up, Dave Bing actually might be one of the best point guards you can pick up, because you can get him for 1500 MT. And he's relatively good, relatively complete as well. He shoots decently. He can attack the rim, not great, but he can. 90 ball handles, pretty solid, 88 perimeter defense. Overall, for his price, probably one of the best point guards that you can buy, truly. Other than that, it affects Keith Van Horn to a certain extent. I've been noticing a lot more people are grinding for Keith Van Horn, which is unfortunate because I really wanted Keith Van Horn. I don't think Keith Van Horn is bad. 6'10", 6'11 wingspan, now that he has that Jump Shot 4 release, same as Booker and Gerald Wallace, I think he's a very, very solid card. Not earth shattering, and I don't think he's one of those cards that's going to crack your lineup to a certain extent, but it makes him significantly better. And what other cards would be affected by this at all, even price wise? Yeah, Dave Bing. I think Dino and Evan Fournier already had this release. Yeah, Spencer Haywood, I think they changed. I think he had set shot 4. It doesn't really matter. We haven't gotten a Spencer Haywood card, but if we do, that makes him a little bit better. Mike Muscala? Oh, yes, dude. My boy Mike Muscala. Okay. Mike Muscala is nasty now. The only issue with Mike Muscala before was his release and his lack of defense and size and speed. And there's some issues, but Mike Muscala is sick. Okay, Mike Muscala is actually decent now, though. Hold up. Mike Muscala is kind of sick. I'm going to talk about the market in a second. Don't worry. I just need to do something real quick. I was doing some challenges here, but we need to put a pause on that to go shoot some shots with Mike Muscala and freestyle real quick. You know what? I'll do that at the end of the video. All right, let's talk about the market. Steve Kerr would be another card that was affected by this. And Steve Kerr actually turns into a pretty good offline point guard if you want to play triple threat or just have fun with a point guard. This evoed Steve Kerr actually becomes pretty solid. His release was terrible, but now that he has base 4, he's actually pretty fun to use. This Steve Kerr booms, dude, and he steals the ball at a pretty high clip, and he shoots really well now. So that's good. That's pretty good. But either way, the whole reason I made this video is because we got iced out season 3 super packs. Now the odds still sub 2% chance for a 97 plus, which at the minimum they should have made it 2%. I think personally, I don't understand why they didn't make it a 2%. I don't truly. I mean, they're VC only purchasable super packs. They're not really giving anyone any reason to open them. It's not like 2% is going to be a massive difference anyway. 7% chance pink diamond, 22 for a diamond. The odds on these are still not worth spending money on the packs, truly. But you can pick up any of the cards in the game. I would say that if any of the opals are going to drop the most, it's probably Zion. Like, you can always select one card within a gem tier that's going to drop the most based on just if it's good or not. So the two that'll drop the heaviest are going to be Chris Bosh and Zion. Zion or Bosh is fire, but like Chris Bosh is just not a name that sticks. Now, are any of these cards going to be affected in price? Yes, I could see some of the pink diamonds being affected in price. Anybody who's diamond or below will be pennies essentially. So if you're looking to pick any of these guys up, now's a good time to do so. Let's take a look at the actual, cards themselves. So anything that came out in season 3. Who came out in season 3? Any of the moments cards? No, we really haven't gotten moments at all. NBA 75 guys, most of them come out. Let's look at Bill Russell, because he was like 50K. Bill Russell is still relatively expensive. I'm actually kind of shocked about that. He's held value. I mean, he's a very, very good center, and we don't have good centers. You can pick him up at his cheapest right now at about 24K, which I think is pretty good. None of these guys are worth picking up. You can get some badged up Mikan, so I know I'm a little hot. Why is George Mikan 77,000? Okay, all right. Look. I like George Mikan. I really do. But if I can get 77,000 for George Mikan, I'm going to do it. Like, okay, he will go back down in price at some point. I'm going to sell him for 77K if I can. I'll put him up for 75. I paid 25K for this card, all right? If I can get 75K for George Mikan, I'm going to do it. I probably won't be able to, but it's absolutely worth taking a look. You know what I mean? Lenny Wilkins is pretty good for cheap, too. All these guys are basically buyouts. I think Hal Greer is probably like 10,000. Yeah, he wasn't in... Oh, George Mikan wasn't in season 3. That's what it is. Okay. Either way, let's look at some guys like Dave Cowens is probably pretty cheap. These packs, clearly people either aren't opening them or the odds aren't good because there's not a lot of these cards up right now. But I expect the prices to dip significantly around probably in about 3 to 4 hours from now. That's when the most people are available to open packs, and that's when the most people do open packs. So I would expect that to be the case. Wes Unseld will probably be like discard value. Same with Bill Walton. Bill Walton will be a really good pickup for discard value. Walton's nice. I expect like Larry Bird to dip in value. I mean, he's already like under 20K. And as far as power forwards go, like for under 20K, I think Larry Bird's like top tier, like combo forward for that price. Truly, I do. James Worthy too. I've been seeing a lot of people pick him up for like ridiculously low prices. This guy is going to be probably under 30K, and I think he's absolutely worth picking up for that price. Julius Erving's still expensive. I expect him to dip below 50K, so maybe look out for that if you're looking for like a shooting guard. Moses Malone's not dipping. Magic is probably going to, he's a buyout already. He's probably going to be about 80K tonight. If you want to pick up Magic, that's a good time to do so. The other one's going to be even cheaper. I'll talk about him in a second. Dave Bing, obviously, I talked about. Shaq will probably be a buyout tonight. Barely. Like, he'll be a barely buyout like this. Yeah, he'll be like 90K. You know what I mean? Scotty, Michael Jordan, and Patrick Ewing will all be ridiculously cheap. Tim Duncan will probably be a buyout, even cheaper so than he is before, like probably around 50K. I would say that's my prediction for Tim Duncan, maybe 45. Kobe's not going anywhere. He might be a little bit cheaper, but that's about it. He's going to be one of the hardest cards to pull. Dirk's going to be like 30K, so if you're looking to pick up Dirk, now's a good time to do so. If you're looking to fill out any of these collections and you have like the high tier card already, today is a good day to pick up the rest of the guys, like truly. Steve Nash, Ray Allen will be relatively cheap. Jason Kidd won't move around too much in price. He's not really that expensive anyway. Dwayne Wade, I don't think he's going to be a buyout, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him at like 100K. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. 2010s, I don't think we see any of these cards be a buyout. Yeah, none. No effect really on the prices there. Mystic was last season. As far as both the iced out packs, yeah, both of these guys will be different. Jimmy Butler will be cheap. Just like is the case with most Jimmy Butler cards, I don't think it's worth investing in these Jimmy Butler cards. They always tend to release Jimmy Butler before they blow power balancing. I don't know what their beef with Jimmy is, but they always do it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but they typically do this every single year. And this is no exception. Like they released Jimmy and he was like on top as far as like shooting guard / small forward for like 2 weeks. And then they blew power balancing with like Kobe and Terry Dissinger and stuff. So it is what it is, truly. Chris Bosh, I don't think he's going to be a buyout. He's too good. He's like the best center in the game right now, I think. Terry Dissinger is going to be a buyout for sure. He'll probably be like 90K. I don't think he dips very much lower than that. If you can get him under 90K, I think there may be a possibility you make some MT, but it just kind of remains to be seen. But either way, he's like the best wing in the game, or at least one of them, truly. All these guys are going to be pennies. I mean, they're already pennies, but you're going to be able to get Victor Oladipo for like 5K. Mike Miller will probably be the same. Bradley Beal will be like 10. Tis the season, guys. Yeah, I don't think we see Curry or LeBron or Kawhi enter the territory. We could see a significant drop-off in price for Rudy Gay. And by significant, I mean like 10K probably, so it'll be like 60. And Rudy is... he's tough to really predict as far as is he going to be worth that MT. I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know. Rudy's another card that sometimes, like if we look to 2K20, he does hold his market value quite a bit. Like leap year Rudy Gay and leap year Paul George held their value strong. Honestly, when it comes to that leap year set, I think that set had the most longevity out of any set I've ever seen. Like that card, that set, the cards in that set held their value until like April in 2K20. Like Paul George and Rudy Gay were still above 50K in like April. T-Mac was still, until they released Flashed Glitch, T-Mac was still 800K. Derrick Rose was still like 125K for a while there. And I feel like there's another leap year guy that I can't quite remember that held their value super well. But either way, it doesn't really matter. All these guys are going to be cheap. New Year's resolution players. Yeah, if there's going to be an Opal that's a buyout, it's going to be, yeah. I was going to say Giannis for some reason, dude. Sorry, my throat is still like messed up, dude. Long vid is really messing with me right now. Zion will be the one if it's a buyout. I don't think that will happen, but if anyone's going to be a buyout, it's going to be Zion. Kevin Love will be cheap. Caldwell. Dwayne Wade won't be a buyout, neither of them. You might be able to snag him for a little bit cheaper, but that's about it. Shaq won't be a buyout. I don't think. Oh, wow. He's already a buyout. Yeah, this card's absolutely worth picking up on a buyout, especially if you find an evo version. Like this one's 96K with an unlimited contract. Shaq's stupid. I don't think he'll hold value for too much longer, but if you're trying to like crack out unlimited and finish it and get into showdown tier and stuff like that, and you're looking for a big man, like Shaq Diesel can really hold it down. I'm not going to spend that MT on him personally. I just feel like we're getting so many cards on Friday that I don't necessarily think it's worth it. Now, is there anyone you should sell particularly that I think will tank in value specifically? Yes, Dwayne Wade. I would say there's absolutely 0% chance he keeps this price up for much longer, especially with Friday coming. So I recommend getting rid of him this week if you are trying to profit before he falls. Luka, same thing. I think he holds value a little bit better just because he's Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? Shaq, I don't know if it's worth selling him for a buyout, personally. He's just kind of his own kind of player, so I think his value will stick. Like, what his price is right now, I think his price is going to be for the next, like, 3-4 weeks. Personally, minimum, you know what I mean? Maybe it goes up. I don't think he ever goes back over 100K, personally, but I think he does kind of hover right around the 80K range, unless we get, like, a demonstrably better center. And then maybe he drops to, like, 50. You know what I mean? I mean, Colossal Shaq held his value for so long, even though he wasn't even like a top 5 center. So, tis the season, guys. I mean, obviously, I'm going to tell you it's probably best to sell LeBron now, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. Steph is one that I would recommend selling, but I think it'll be a little while before we get a Steph, and Steph's going to hold value. Kawhi, yeah, Kawhi will hold value, so it doesn't really matter. Iced out players, Jimmy. I would say Jimmy. It is absolutely time to sell Jimmy for sure. This is the highest he is ever going to be right here. And honestly, if you can grind for Jaylen Brown, it's better than having Jimmy anyway. Like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Bill Russell, not cryogenesis, but NBA 75, I would hold on to. Let's see. Bosch. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That one's tough. Maxed out cards, Ray Allen is one that I would recommend selling. Just because, like I said, his value will never go back up. It's probably better to get like 70K now for Ray Allen while you can. Oh, Wiggins is really cheap, by the way. Same with Aaron Gordon. Obviously, both of those guys, if you're looking for budget options, you should pick those guys up. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the signature series, guys. That's it. Yeah, no buyouts for Kobe. This Magic will be pretty cheap as well. Kobe obviously is a card that I recommend selling. He'll hold value, but if you want to get your max value, now's the time. Pink Diamond Steph. I mean, almost 100K for this card still. I would highly recommend selling him. That I can't be more serious about that. Jaylen Brown, I mean, I would recommend selling him because you can get a free version for relatively cheap. I mean, does it suck that you're only going to get like 15K for him? Yeah, so you can hold on to him if you want, but look for the right time to sell that card, and I think you'll be in store for a nice treat. Jamal Crawford's relatively cheap. You should probably just keep him. Draymond, still good, still usable. If you have any of these older cards, I would recommend selling them. Like LeBron especially. Oh, wow, he's actually cheaper than I expected. That's crazy. There was a card Karl Anthony Towns, I think, is relatively expensive. Yeah, he's like 30K for some reason, and I truly could not tell you why. Well, let's just take a look here. Maybe I don't think I'll get 30K for Karl Anthony Towns, but you never really know. Let's throw him up. Let's be a kind individual. Throw him up for 27,000. Is he going to sell? Absolutely not. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to roll the dice on that one. Other cards to look at would be Karl Anthony Towns has been expensive for some reason. I don't know. Primetime guys, I don't think any of these guys are really expensive. I mean, if you can get 25K for this Moses Malone, I would do it for sure. Pete Maravich, I highly recommend selling because we're absolutely getting a new version of Pistol Pete relatively soon. Jamal Mashburn, any of these primetime guys. The pack odds on these were so bad that most people just don't have these cards. Kevin Johnson is even like 50K. If you have this, sell him. Grant Hill, I guarantee we get a new Grant Hill relatively soon that can play shooting guard. That's about it, though. I mean, I would look through your collection, take a look at the cards that you do have, especially if they're higher tier, and just kind of see if any of them are really worth it. If they're worth something, put them up. Like, you can always buy them back later. Like, in the case of the two cards I have up right now, they're probably not going to sell, but on the off possibility that I can get 70K for George Mikan and the off possibility that I can get 27K for Karl Anthony Towns, I'm going to take it personally. Oh, one last thing. We also got our Beyond Level 40 final steps here. They're not great, I'll be honest. They're pretty easy. The Win 5 TTO games has been a pain today, though. Everyone's just super sweaty. I don't know what it is. We also got Moments Challenges that get you a Signature Series pack. It's probably why Karl Anthony Towns is so expensive. It's not really worth it. You can do that with like anyone. Like, I'm going to do it with Wiggins for the most part. As always, it's been your boy Cheap Ludes. Hey, look, I'm also coming out with a what to expect in season 4 video. Am I going to be correct about things? Probably not, but I enjoy speculating. It's a fun time. You know what I mean? Drop a like on this video, comment down below. Show your boy some support. I am having a rough go of it for the past couple weeks. The vid is not good, man. I think I've been just living in a perpetual fever dream. But have a good day, guys. Peace.